The retirement party was everything my father had dreamed of. Crystal chandeliers glowed above polished oak tables. Waiters in white gloves floated through the ballroom carrying silver trays of champagne. A slideshow of my father's 40 years. At Harbor Steel Corporation played across giant screens, while old coworkers laughed at stories that had been told 100 times before. Tonight was his night, and I almost didn't come. I stood outside the hotel entrance for nearly 10 minutes, staring at my reflection in the glass doors. I wasn't wearing an expensive dress. I wasn't wearing designer heels. I came straight from work, in my orange safety vest, steel toe boots, navy jacket, and my employee ID still hanging around my neck. The receptionist at the hotel looked me up and down before asking, "Are you delivering something?" I smiled. "No, I'm family." She looked surprised. That wasn't new. Growing up, I was never the child my father wanted. My older brother Ethan was the golden boy. Straight-A student, football captain, business degree, eventually promoted into a management role at Harbor Steel, the same company where Dad worked. Whenever Dad introduced Ethan, his chest puffed with pride. My son, future vice president one day. Then there was me. I wasn't interested in business. I hated office jobs. I loved building things. At 12, while other girls played with makeup, I was taking apart lawnmowers just to see how engines worked. By 15, I could weld better than most adults. By 18, I wanted to become a heavy equipment technician. Dad acted like I'd announced I wanted to join the circus. That's not work for women. You'll ruin your hands. No respectable man will marry someone covered in grease. I applied anyway. Then I skipped college. That was the day he stopped believing in me. Whenever relatives asked what I did, he'd shrug. "She's figuring things out," as if I spent my days sleeping until noon. In reality, I was working 12-hour shifts repairing cranes, forklifts, and industrial machines. I loved every minute. The jokes never stopped. Every Christmas, every birthday, every family barbecue. Dad found a new way to embarrass me. So, still playing mechanic? When are you getting a real career? Still wearing those ugly boots? Everyone laughed. Mom stayed quiet. My brother smirked. I learned to smile. Silence became my armor. 3 years passed, then 5, then 8. Something funny happened while my college friends struggled under student loans. I had none. While they searched for jobs, I already had promotions. While they rented apartments, I bought a small house, quietly, without telling anyone. I wasn't trying to prove anyone wrong. I simply loved my work. Eventually, I became one of the youngest maintenance supervisors in the company. Then regional supervisor. Then operations manager, not because of luck, because every machine I touched worked better afterward. People noticed. Companies called. One offer became 2. Then 10, eventually, Atlas Industrial Solutions recruited me. I accepted, the salary nearly doubled. Bonuses, profit sharing, company truck, stock options. Still, Dad never asked what I actually did. He only saw the work boots. When the retirement invitation arrived, I almost threw it away. Then Mom called. It would mean a lot if you came, so I came. Straight from work, the ballroom was packed. Nearly 200 people, executives, managers, family, old neighbors, former employees. Dad spotted me immediately. His smile disappeared. "You couldn't even change?" "I came as fast as I could." "You look like you came from a construction site." "I did." He rolled his eyes. Of course, halfway through dinner, speeches began. Coworkers praised Dad. Managers thanked him. Then the MC smiled. "Would any family members like to say something?" Dad stood. "I've got one." Everyone laughed. He motioned toward me. "There she is." I felt every eye in the room. Dad grinned. "This is my daughter." Pause. No degree. Laughter. No future. More laughter. Just freeloads off the family. The room exploded. People slapped tables. Someone actually whistled. Even Ethan laughed. Dad was loving every second. I looked around the room. No one noticed Mom staring at her plate. No one noticed my hands trembling. Not from embarrassment, from disappointment. After 33 years, he still didn't know me. I slowly stood, picked up my champagne glass, smiled. The room grew quiet. I looked directly at my father. "Cheers!" Everyone lifted their glasses. "This is the last time any of you will ever see me." Silence. I wasn't angry. I wasn't crying. I simply set my glass down. turned around, walked toward the exit. Behind me, not a sound. The ballroom had never been quieter. I drove home, blocked everyone's numbers, changed my email, closed social media. I disappeared, not to punish anyone, to protect my peace. 3 weeks later, Atlas Industrial Solutions announced the acquisition of Harbor Steel's maintenance division, the company where Dad had spent 40 years. The department Ethan managed. The acquisition included restructuring. Every regional manager would now report to me. I walked into corporate headquarters, wearing the same steel-toe boots Dad hated. Only this time. People stood when I entered. The CEO introduced me. "This is our new Vice President of Operations." Applause echoed through the room. Then the conference room door opened. Dad entered as a retired consultant. Ethan entered as department manager. Neither knew. Until they looked toward the front, their faces froze. Dad whispered, "Emily?" I smiled politely. "Good morning," the CEO continued. "Emily will oversee all operational restructuring." Dad looked like someone had stolen the air from his lungs. The meeting lasted 2 hours. I treated everyone equally. No favoritism, no revenge, no humiliation, just business. When it ended, Dad approached me. "I didn't know." "I know. I'm proud of you." For a second, the little girl inside me wanted to believe him. Then I remembered the birthdays, the holidays, the jokes, the laughter, the retirement speech. Pride discovered after success isn't the same as love given freely. I've been trying to call. I changed my number. I wanted to apologize. I nodded. "I appreciate that. Can we start over?" He looked through the conference room window at workers outside repairing equipment. People in orange safety vests. People Dad never respected. People exactly like me. I already started over. He lowered his eyes. "I just did it without you." Months passed. Dad wrote letters. Real letters. Not excuses. Apologies. He admitted he had confused education with intelligence, office work with dignity, titles with worth. He admitted he'd spent decades measuring success using someone else's ruler. For the first time, he listened, not to reply, to understand. A year later, I invited my parents to dinner, not because they earned forgiveness overnight, because healing begins with honesty. Dad looked around my home, the house I had built, the workshop behind it, the tools neatly arranged, the framed photo of my crew. He smiled. "I never realized how beautiful your world was." I smiled back. "You never looked." People often ask whether I regret walking out of that retirement party. I don't, because sometimes the strongest thing you can say is nothing. Sometimes the loudest goodbye is simply walking away. And sometimes the greatest revenge isn't making someone feel small. It's building a life so meaningful that their opinion no longer defines your worth. Success doesn't silence your critics. It teaches you that you no longer need to hear them.